Okay, hey guys, welcome back to the Better Project, where we crush the stigma that surrounds mental health by talking to real people and sharing raw stories. I'm your host, Nick Batar. Today, we are joined by Ryan Scilipote. Did I get that right?
Yeah, man, nailed it. That was actually really well done.
I had to go and listen to Ryan's
Everyone's
one to make sure it was right.
yeah. No, you should have seen him beforehand. He was sitting there for about 5 minutes, just going and I was like, dude, just go for it.
Bro, I full wrote it down, Scilipote on my paper.
No, well done. Like, kudos to you. That was awesome.
But yeah, man, appreciate you taking some time out of your day to jump on, man. I like to start my podcast with some gratitude. What are three things you're grateful for today?
Man, oh well, I'm grateful just to live on the sunny coast. I love the sunny coast. So I'm grateful that I live in such an amazing area. Um, I'm grateful for my family. I love my family. Literally today, I spoke to my mum. Amazing woman, by the way. Kudos, shout out to mum. So grateful to mum and my family. And honestly, just grateful to be here with someone like yourself. That's spreading some mental health awareness, and just I've got this amazing opportunity to, talk to someone that's like-minded and is switched on. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it, bro. Super grateful. You mentioned you're grateful for the sunny coast. I swear I'm manifesting myself moving up there because I'm from New South Wales and I'm talking to everyone in your area. So I'm
Yeah.
manifesting it, bro. What's it like living
Oh,
up there?
bro, it's unreal. Like you got the beach. Literally, I'm sitting in a cafe. I can walk 5 minutes that way, go to the beach. I've got mountains 20 minutes away, waterfalls. It's a bit rainy at the moment, but like it's amazing. Well, thank you so much. Speaking, getting delivered.
All right. What have we got? What
But
have we
yeah,
got?
all right. So I think this is a smoothie, and then I've just been delivered my salad, which is a wonderful trout salad. So yeah,
Awesome. Have a bite, have a
yeah,
sip, and
killing.
then let's give it a little
Yeah,
quick review,
yeah.
a live review.
Mm, mm. Usually it's milkshakes, so a bit different today. Yeah, this kicks. This kicks ass. And let me smash this. Sorry guys, I'm literally on like a lunch break. I've like had to cram this in.
It's all good, bro. That's how I like to roll. Just keep it raw.
Yeah, it's, yeah, yeah,
Good shit.
yeah, man, it's good shit.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's
So,
good shit.
did you always grow up on the sunny coast, or where did you come from originally?
Yeah, man, I'm a sunny coast born and bred boy. I've lived here all my life. I went to school here, went to uni here. Um, Literally just this is home for me. Like I know this place like the back better than the back of my hand, and so yeah, it's always been home and love it here. Eventually, I do want to travel when COVID lets us travel, but yeah, until then, I'm just living it up here, enjoying the weather, enjoying the scenery. Keeps getting bigger and bigger, so it's nice. Like it's that nice mix of, coast life, city life. Kind of got a bit of everything. So no,
Best
I'm
of both
loving it.
worlds, eh?
Mm, mm.
For the listeners who don't know who you are, you want to kind of give a backstory. We've already mentioned, sunny coast, all that, but what do you do? Like, just give us a backstory on who Ryan Scilipote is.
Yeah, nailed it again. Well done. um, well, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ryan Scilipote, and I am one of the directors and the chairman of Pantheon Support Services, which is like a psychosocial support company that focuses mainly on supporting guys and girls with like autism, schizophrenia, and stuff, using like innovative community participation as a way to help them achieve their goals. Slowly been getting that more and more off the ground and up and running, but been amazing. And previously, I am a graduate paramedic, and I am doing my Masters of Occupational Therapy at Bond University, but that's just kind of taken a back seat while this business is kind of running. Um, Also, a little bit on the side, I am a boxer. Do love boxing. Got to fight this Saturday, so hence why I'm eating the trout and the smoothie.
Nice.
And yeah, just average kind of sunny coast boy that just kind of loves to help out where he can. My family, my brother's actually autistic and has schizophrenia as well, so he is on the spectrum. So it's very close to home for me, this type of stuff. And I've just wanted to, really make a bit of a difference because I've got a few friends and obviously my family as well that have really struggled with mental health. And having the opportunity and the position and the knowledge now that I can help, I really wanted to spread that word a bit.
So having your
But
brother who has autism, has that kind of led you down the path of Pantheon and the work that you're doing now?
yeah, well, it was like a mix, man. Like I went through a massive bout of depression last year, and that was a huge thing for me. And it was actually my brother that was there for me, and I saw the opportunities that he was missing out on, and the struggles that he was through. Like it's weird seeing it growing up, but then having reflected now as an adult with more life experience, I'm like, holy shit, like this guy's actually got some stuff. And I really wanted to help out there. And I did support work for the last 2 years privately, and I saw more and more and more. And I just said to myself one day, hey, like something's got to change. This isn't good enough. And I approached the other directors of Pantheon, Logan, Matt, and they were all over that. And they were actually already building a non-for-profit organization ages, so they had already kind of experienced that. And definitely my brother, a mix of things. It was just timing and place, and just that personal growth, that personal click of, fuck, this is really what I want to do.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear, and it's very important work that you're doing because let's face it, people who have autism and that don't get the same opportunities that we have, and they don't get to live life the way that we do. So services like Pantheon and all the other services out there, I guess, allow these kids, these humans, to try and live the most normal life that they can.
Yeah, well, like Pantheon, the whole name of Pantheon comes from obviously like that Greek saying of Pantheon.
It's a
And
cool
the
fucking
Pantheon
name,
is
bro.
a group of cheers, man. I remember literally we were sitting there, and I'm throwing out all these like, unrivaled, like this and that. And my Logan, he's sitting there. I'm pretty sure he got the name of his girlfriend, and she was in the kitchen, and she's like, Pantheon. And then he's like, oh, what about Pantheon? And I was like, fuck, man, that sounds so cool. I don't care what we have to do. Like that's our name. And that obviously is for like a group of empowered individuals that have the ability to change the world. And man, I think that's spot on. That's what we want to do. We want to empower people to change the world in any way they can, and give them the opportunities and the skills that they need to do that.
Yeah, man, that's empowering, dude. And yeah, shout out to, was it Ryan's girlfriend that gave the name?
Logan's
Logan's
girlfriend.
Shout out.
Yeah, Sash. So there we go, Sash. Don't get angry at me on this podcast, because she was like, hey, it was actually me. Don't say it was Logan. I was like, I'm sorry. So there we go, Sash. That one's for you.
Awesome, man. It must be so fulfilling, the work that you do, and being able to, as I mentioned before, allow these people to live a more normal life. It must be so fulfilling.
Well, dude, it's honestly amazing just getting the opportunity to meet people that think in ways that I can't even begin. Like neurodivergency is just amazing. Like the jokes, the thought processes, and just being able to nurture that and point it in the right direction. I don't think there's anything better than that. And teachers get it with their students. And when I have a client come up to me and go, man, like that's you've helped me figure out what I want to do, and you've helped me achieve that goal. There's nothing better than that. There really isn't.
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to building those connections and those relationships, because then when you build trust, They'll open up to you. And a lot of it does come back to, mental health. Because once we do build the trust, the relationships, they feel comfortable. It's a safe environment. And it's like, all right, if I'm struggling, I can reach out to Ryan. So
Yeah.
very important.
And honestly, like, and another amazing part of like opening this up and being more active in the mental health community is I get just young guys messaging me nowadays, just mates of mine that are going, "Hey man, I see what you've been doing. I really appreciate it. I'm actually really struggling at the moment. Like, do you mind coming and grabbing a coffee with me or something?" And dude, that's the best. Like, having one of my mates or someone actually come to me and ask for help, and me, having the opportunity to help these guys when they weren't even aware of it before, they felt alone, and now they feel that they can come to me for these things, or Pantheon, or anyone else, or even their family. Man, that's what it's all about. That's what, by crushing the stigma, and like you've said before, and just being there and being open and being a bit vulnerable with someone. Yeah, there's nothing better than that.
And that's why I do the podcast, because us here today being vulnerable then allows the listeners to be like, hey, if these guys can be vulnerable, why can't I? And it just creates that ripple effect.
Exactly. And like, it's hard, especially being like a young male, knowing, exactly what to be vulnerable about, because we can be vulnerable, but it's learning, what the actual problem is, and the right people to approach for that. Because I found in the past, I've been vulnerable in an incorrect way, with incorrect people, which has steered me down paths that wouldn't or shouldn't have been, traveled. Definitely a learning experience, but now I think, people like yourself and Ryan, and all these other positive influences, being able to be vulnerable with the right people and figuring out exactly what the problem is, that's amazing. Like, yeah,
Definitely agree. You've first got to acknowledge there is a problem and then accept it. And then we can finally start to move on and express how we truly feel. But if you don't know there's a problem, you're just going to continue going through life with this weird
yeah,
feeling in you. Like, for so many years, I had like I experienced social anxiety pretty badly, and I didn't know what it was. It was just this fucking weird feeling inside me, until I realized, hey, like, there's something wrong here. I started to acknowledge it, started to do like research, and then I accept it. And then now I'm like, okay, cool. I experience social anxiety sometimes, but now I can use that as basically confidence to help me overcome obstacles, and that it's not a negative thing anymore. It's now a positive.
exactly. And like, now look at you, you're reaching out to people, and talking in front of a camera, like, you can't really get much more confidence than that. But it's like, kudos to you, bro. Like, well done. But yeah, and I fully relate to you when you say you have social anxiety. I wasn't even aware that I had social anxiety until, a few months ago. Like, I'm having to step aside whilst hanging out and about with my friends, go to the toilet, recenter myself, try and calm myself down and go, because all I could think the whole time was, man, what's everyone thinking about me? How am I coming across as? What what am I doing wrong? And like you said, becoming aware of it and going, hey, like, there's actually a problem here. This isn't a normal behavior. Is the first step to, recovering and growing stronger, and using that in a positive way.
Once you acknowledged, you're experiencing social anxiety, what were some of the tools that you implemented to kind of overcome that when it like came into your life?
Um, well, it's hard, because what works for me wouldn't work for other people, and I find everyone has their own method. I talked to my mum about it, and talked to my like real close friends, my siblings, and like, she sat me down and she pretty much said, why are you giving a fuck? Pretty much. Like, and I said, oh, but like, these people, they're perceiving me in a certain way, and that's not what I'm trying to do. And she goes, can you control how they see you. I was like, no, but like, I want to try and stop them from seeing this, or like, I don't want them. And she's like, well, you can't. And no matter what you do, they're going to view things through their own personal light the same way that you do. And you just have to learn to let go and focus on how you react to things. That's what you're in control of. And the moment I realized that, I was like, oh shit, she's 100% right. Like, I can't control how they perceive me, but I can control how I react to that. And that was a massively empowering thing for me. And I just thought, and this is what I always think to myself now, from now on, will this matter to me a year from now? Probably not, So that's what really helps me out, is I just kind of have a bit of perspective and sit back and go, oh, all right, yeah, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I can relate to that so much. In regards to, we ourselves create so many scenarios in our head. For you, it was how they perceived me. But 99.9% of the time, how you think someone perceives you, they don't even think of it. They don't even perceive you in that way. It's all in your head. And it's funny how our mind can create all these scenarios, then gives us social anxiety, and we're like, oh fuck, I want to get out of here. And we're creating all this bloody fear in our head for no reason a lot of the times. And for me, a big tip I can give people is, if you feel like you're stressing out, or you think, oh, someone's perceiving me in a different way or whatever, take a step back and just take a deep breath, and then just hold your breath, because everything's just going to slow down. And once you become present, you're not focusing on the past, or you're not focusing on the future. You're just focusing on the now. So breath work has helped me a lot when it comes to social anxiety.
Yeah, man. Like, I've noticed breathwork becoming more and more and more popular, especially like, here on the sunny coast, there's heaps of breath groups, and watching people do that and implement that skill, 100%, that is a vital skill. And like you said before, like, a lot of people don't actually, think too hard about the things that you're doing. It's your own self anxiety that builds up that, tension. But yeah, no, breath work, I think, is very, very important. I find myself, whenever I'm getting frustrated, angry, a little bit anxious, 3 deep breaths, in, out, in, out. And like you said, just focusing on that moment, that present moment that you're in. That's the only thing you can really do, because you can't control the future. Past has already been. Just keep focusing on the now.
Exactly. I had Jordan Potts on the podcast. He's from the sunny coast. Not sure if you heard of him or not, but he was saying that it takes 6 deep breaths to change your state of mind. So if you're stressed, if you're angry, whatever the case, if you take 6 deep breaths and do a breath hold, you're going to change your state of mind. So anyone, just focus on your breath, because it's going to help so much.
Well, the physical response to just taking some deep breaths, look, you got your parasympathetic responses and stuff as well, that, your blood pressure, heart rate, everything like that, which in turn affects your emotional state. So yeah, 100%. I'll have to try the 6. I wasn't aware of the 6, but like, from now on, I'll be implementing those 6 breaths rather than the 3.
Yeah, there's so many different, I guess, techniques you can do. Have you heard of Cool to Be Conscious? They're up on Sunny Coast as well.
Yeah. I'm due to go, actually, one of these mornings. I've just been, I've been struggling to get up out of bed in the mornings. It's just been late nights, and I'm like, oh, I'm in bed with my cat. No, not doing it.
Yeah, so they got like a Cool to Be Conscious daily, which is 30 mouth breaths, and then followed by 3 just straight nasal breathes, and then into a breath hold for 2 rounds. I think it'll take like 2 minutes or so. And it's just like a big reset. So now, before I jumped on this podcast, I just did that. If I wake up in the morning and I feel a bit sluggish, I'll do that. Just all it takes is 2 minutes out of your day to have that little reset, and then you feel so good about yourself after.
Yeah, well, I was showing something similar. I can't remember the exact name of it, by Logan, one of the other directors. We went on a walk during the rain to Condalilla Falls. Now, I have to say to anyone, like, walking a national park in the rain is awesome.
Yeah.
Recommend it. Go do it. So we did that, and we went to the bottom of Contalilla Falls, and rain was coming down. We were just sitting on this rock, and he was like, "Hey, like, you've got to try this." And I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's something very, very similar. And honestly, changed my entire week. It wasn't just that day. I was happy for the rest of that week. I just felt so serene, so present that nothing could change my mindset.
The power of nature, because I live in the Blue Mountains, so New South Wales, that's the national park, and I'm always in the bush chasing waterfalls, all that kind of stuff, and it's my second home. It just, every time I go out, I feel free, man. I feel like I can just be me. I can do whatever I want. Don't have to answer to anyone. I'm in nature, fresh air, just living life to the best. And I come out of there, come home, I'm like, yeah, I feel so good about myself. It's the power of nature, and all these things that we're talking about now, breath work, going for walks, exercise, nature, all that kind of stuff. It's all free. We can all do it in every single day. Yet so many of us do not do it, and we wonder why. Mental health is all-time high, suicide rates are high, but we're not doing these
Yeah.
simple little things every single day. All these little habits or rituals that we can implement into our daily life.
Well, I think the issue is convenience nowadays. It's more convenient to stay at home, order Uber Eats, watch a movie, watch that stuff. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to do anything. And I think people get comfortable, and comfort is the enemy of progress. And I think it gets hard for us and people to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, because I don't always want to go for a walk. I don't always want to go climb a mountain. Sometimes I'm tired, but forcing yourself, pushing yourself out of that comfort zone to go do those things actually really, really benefit you both mentally and physically. And I think that not enough people nowadays really recognize the value of just simply going for a walk or a skateboard. We've got a rack of skateboards in my house, and we go for skates just around the area just to feel young again every once in a while.
Do some kick flips.
Yeah, and then try not to break my collarbone again.
Oh, dude, you mentioned the back end of last year you were in a bit of a dark space. Was that due to lockdowns, or what was that in regards to? And then how did you kind of deal with it?
I think for me, I just became very aware of the bad habits that I was implementing in my personal life, like, alcohol abuse, party drugs, all those types of things. I was just stuck in the scene. I was 22 years old. I finished my degree. I started implementing things, and I thought that I kind of deserved to let my hair down and stuff. And I didn't know how much time and money I had just wasted doing things that I wasn't even really enjoying that I was doing, because I felt like, I should be enjoying it. This is normal. This is what my friends are enjoying. And I had this massive moment where, after a music festival, where I was sitting in a room, and I'd spent stupid amounts of money and just done way too many drugs, and I was just looking at the person in the mirror, and I was just legitimately not happy with the person that was looking back. I was like, wow, this is where I am. I've done a degree, I've done all this. Well, what the hell am I doing sitting here on the floor surrounded by drugs? And I just felt empty, and like I was worth more than that. And it took me a while to recover from that. Like, I had my personal image and ego broken by myself, essentially, and I wasn't proud of the person I was becoming. So it took a while to rebuild and reconstruct my ethics. And my brother and my family and the other directors from Pantheon were instrumental in that. It was hard and long, and I'm by no means there. I'm still really, really trying to push myself in the right direction. And I think that's all anyone is really doing.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I think it was just that realization of I wasn't conducting myself in ways that I believed that I had been, you know?
Yeah, by the sounds of it, you weren't living in alignment with the person that you wanted to be or the life that you wanted to live.
Mm, exactly, exactly. And, it was a combination of things. Like it was like that, getting out of a long-term relationship, um, changing careers, doing like a lot of things. So it was, like you said, yeah, I was just out of alignment. I wasn't the person that I thought I was, and I needed to make some serious, serious changes and needed to change my environment, push myself out of my comfort zone because like I said, I'd become comfortable with this type of lifestyle. And, you know, that moment that I'd found myself uncomfortable, I was like, yeah, shit, this needs to change. And so I just changed.
Well, what are some of the, I guess, healthy habits that you started to implement into your life?
Well, I quit alcohol. Um, that was a big one. I quit it for a very long time. Just kind of was like, no more alcohol. Um, I Since then I've trailed it off, so will only do like 4 drinks in one night. Um, no more binge drinking. That's kind of like my what was happening. I couldn't stop. So yeah, only on weekends and only 4 in one night, so I can still get home nice and easy. I was vegetarian for a long time, although now that I have a boxing match coming up, I have had to put on a bit of weight for that. So pretty much to put on the weight, I've had to go back to eating meat just so I can put it on fast. And just no drugs. No drugs at all. Just cold turkey on that one.
Mm.
So that was the big one for me. That I was proud of myself doing, and especially stuff like weed that people get very comfortable using because it is legalized in a lot of places. You don't realize the damage to your mental health that it's doing. So just pushing that to the side and going, no, I actually don't think it's conducive to my mental health or my physical health. That was, yeah, pushed to the side completely. Other than that, working out twice a day, spending more time with my family, and just saying no to people when I don't want to do something.
Yes, that's a big one, saying no. And it's not to be a gronk as well. It's knowing knowing your self-worth and knowing how valuable your time is. Because sometimes we tend to say yes to everything and then we're not focusing on the things that actually make us happy. So
Yeah,
sometimes you got to be that little bit selfish and fill your own cup up so then you can become the best version of you to then be able to be the best you for everyone else in your life.
yeah, yeah. And like, it sucks. Like, it does. It sucks saying no, especially that first couple times. And it's not always bad. Like I'm saying, you do have fun with your friends. That's what makes these situations so hard because you're sitting there and you say no, and everyone's like, "Oh, come on!" Like, and it gets harder and harder. But then at some point, you stop missing that, and you realize that you're actually achieving your goals by saying no, and you're achieving more by saying no. And um, yeah, like that for me was very hard at the start, but now it's become a lot easier because I can spend my time elsewhere and in more productive ways.
It allows you to have that time to say work on your business or work on your health and fitness. All these
Or
little
just
avenues.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do some breath work, or just have a night in to watch a movie, read a book, and have some solitude and some time where you can become comfortable with your own presence, because nowadays everyone's so socially connected through like Facebook, Instagram, everything, that you don't really get to be alone and be present just by yourself. So I think taking that time to just be with yourself and enjoy your own presence and be comfortable in that solitude is beyond valuable.
Spot on. And I can totally agree, because like the last probably month or so, I caught myself, I was self-aware, falling into the trap of being on my phone all the time and messaging people and connecting with people, because obviously I'm so passionate about growing the podcast and the brand and stuff. But I was like, hey, this is not making me feel good, because my eyes are hurting. I'm always on my phone. I need to put it down. And over the weekend, I was barely on my phone. I think it was like maybe 3-4 days. Didn't even post or like was on stories or anything. Just spent time with my little family, went out in nature, and now I can come back feeling fresh and ready to go again. It's that balance, I think.
Oh, 100%. I was doing the very similar thing with my What's Going On campaign. I was really, really trying to get someone every day to ask them what's going on. And I really wanted to push that forward. And every day I was beginning to stress because I had to find someone new. And, not everyone wants to, have that personal, those personal questions posed to them. And it was actually very considerate of me. And actually, like, I needed that some time to reflect and go, okay, one, I need to stop doing this for my mental health, and I need to be more considerate of others around me. And yeah, two, I just need to take some more time to do it when I'm in a mindset to do it, to actually genuinely and offer advice and offer some comfort and ask that question and genuinely be ready to hear those answers. So taking a step back from that type of social stuff to do the campaign in a more constructive way was like something I can relate to you. Yeah.
You want to kind of touch on that campaign a bit? Like, so what's going on? Was it just about,
Yep.
connecting with people and getting them to kind of
Yep.
reach out and feel comfortable about talking about what's going on in their life?
Yeah. So I, for me last year, what a big thing to help me change was, everyone asks, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm okay. Everything's fine." But then when Mum came up and asked me, "Hey, like, what's going on?" I found myself actually thinking about it and processing what's actually happening in my life to put me in the mindset that I'm in. And so I reflected and started like evaluating myself. And before I know it, I was breaking down, crying, and just unleashing everything that needed to be unleashed. And so this year, a goal of mine after that was I really want to genuinely ask people what's going on, get a reply, and have them think, even if they don't really give me too much, then they're on the spot. They go home, they think about it and go, hey, what's actually going on in my life? Am I okay? Like, how am I feeling? And have that bit of self-reflection, but also have someone there that's genuinely interested and asking and is prepared to listen. So I've just wanted to spread this whole campaign of people asking other people what's going on and just being prepared to listen and prepared to spend some time not offering advice, but just hearing someone, because sometimes we don't need advice. Sometimes we just need to be heard and listened to.
Yeah, I love that. It's holding space for someone is so important and such a great skill to have, because as males, you would know, like, we're always, let's find solutions. But sometimes you just need to sit and listen. And it's a really good skill to have. And I love that you mentioned, are you okay day and stuff like that, which is great initiatives. Yes, ask people how they're doing. But I think it's become second nature if someone goes, are you okay, just to say good. Like, I was walking
Yeah.
down the road the other day and I said, oh, hey, mate, how are you? And he just goes, good. Every single person, it's just like their natural reaction. They're not actually thinking about, oh, hey, how am I actually feeling today? So the fact that you change the words up and say, what's going on, it gets the person by surprise and goes, hey, like, what is actually going on in my life? So it's very important that we, yes, spread awareness and ask people how they're going and stuff, but let's get people actually thinking. Let's get people actually to open up and share how they're feeling about, what's going on in their life. But that starts from creating a safe environment and holding space for that person.
Absolutely. No, 100%. And you got that bang on there. Like, and that's what that's literally all I wanted to do, is have a environment or a platform where people could just feel free to open up about their emotions. Very similar to what you're doing like here. And like, I feel it's slowly working. Like I said with my friends before, having them come and, connecting with people like yourself, it's all about just slowly spreading that awareness. And, there's nothing better, as I'm sure that you've probably experienced it before, when someone comes up to you and go, I really appreciate what you're doing. Like, I didn't realize, but I really appreciate it. That there's, it's an amazing feeling having someone come up and go, I have been able to implement this into my life now and bettered my life because of it.
Yeah, it's so fulfilling knowing that you've had an impact on someone's life. And I always come back to this story of, I had a guy on my podcast. He has a little family. He was, he attempted to take his own life, drugs, alcohol, that kind of stuff. And he came on my podcast to share his story for like the first time. His mum messaged me after and goes, Nick, thank you so much. That's the first time he's ever opened up. I love what you're doing. Thank you. And I get goosebumps every time I say it, because it's such an awesome feeling knowing that, one, he felt comfortable to come on the podcast and open up, be vulnerable. And two, his mum and everyone else was able to listen and be like, hey, if he can be vulnerable, I can as well. And it, as you said, one connection at a time, this podcast today is going to create many little ripple effects, and who knows where it can lead to.
Absolutely, man. Like, and it's that being conscious and like you said, having people listen in on other people, be vulnerable, that maybe, just maybe next time they're talking to their family, when they're not feeling that 100%, when they are thinking about taking their life or something like that, they can feel a little bit more open. They can feel not so alone, because the problem with depression and stuff is everyone thinks that, oh, it's sad, I'm sad. That's not completely correct at all. It's a lack of anything. It's an apathy. It's the feeling of numbness. It's that feeling of it's just pointless. It's sad means you're upset about something. Like you have that genuine attachment to it. What's so scary about depression is there's no attachment. There's that apathy, the lack of anything, and it's that complete and utter feeling of loneliness that I think becomes overwhelming. And so to have these types of talks and conversations where you can talk about your personal experiences, and you can highlight them and how you got through them. If someone can listen to that and take something positive away and feel like they can be a little bit more vulnerable, and that the people that they're vulnerable to are actually going to genuinely listen, then that's a goal. That's a tick in my book. That's the mission accomplished.
That's it. And have fun with it as well. Mental health doesn't have to be all serious, sad, suffering. Like, to be honest, that's bullshit to me. Like, have fun with it. Let's have fun conversations. Yes, they're going to be real, they're going to be raw. But if you have some fun with it, if you bring some happy, positive feelings to it, that's going to make so much more of a change than just negative talk and saying, oh, I suffer from anxiety, I suffer from depression. Like, I hate the word suffering, because I believe we choose to suffer. Yeah, you may struggle, but you choose to suffer every single day with anxiety, depression. So have some fun with it. That's my biggest tip.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah. No such thing as a bad day. You had a character building day. So
definitely agree. And
yeah.
Sorry. And like you mentioned, there's no such thing as a bad day. It's so true, because so many times one bad moment may happen on a day, and you carry that on throughout the rest of the day. So really, it's not a bad day. It's just one moment that you've held on to.
Yeah. I've had people wake up and just be like, oh man, today's going to be shit. It's raining today. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. Sky's silver. It's beautiful. Let's go.
That's it.
So like, it's all about your mindset, your perception, how you choose to then carry on with your day. one thing doesn't dictate, the rest of your day. That's like saying, all right, my life's shit because I broke my Lego house. So no, it's not so categorize that. Just reset yourself, recenter, carry on.
Yeah, it all comes down to being grateful and being like recentered, because say for example it's been raining here for the last few days. The rain's shit, right? But without the rain we wouldn't enjoy the sun as much. We wouldn't enjoy the good weather as much if we didn't have all the rain and the cold and snow and all that kind of stuff.
I personally love the rain. I've never had a problem with the rain. When it starts raining, I'm like one of those people that's outside jumping in puddles like a kid, or going for walks where I shouldn't. There's a picture of me on my Instagram, literally climbing Condolilla Falls in the rain, trying not to die. But so like every time it's raining, I'm like, sweet, let's go do something now. And everyone looks at me like I'm a psycho.
Yeah, you feel like a big kid, eh?
Yeah, man. Like, especially in Australia, I'm like, dude, it's fucking hot 90% of the time. It's the only time we're not boiling hot.
Yeah, especially up in Queensland, like it can be raining and still hot up there, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome, except when you're like just muggy and you're wet and you're
the
hot
humidity.
and you're muggy and you're like, fuck.
It's good if you have like a
But,
waterfall or something there you can just jump into.
Yeah. But no, as you were saying before, man, like with mental health, 100% gotta have fun with it. You can't come in every day so serious, because I think that's when you'll get worn down. So you've got to, like, come in with a smile. You got to be ready and willing to take the piss out of yourself a little bit.
That's it,
and
man.
Yeah, just roll with it.
Exactly, bro. And as we start to wrap up, do you have any advice, tools, tips, or resources you would recommend to the listeners?
Resources. Just don't be afraid to message. If you're having problems and you're seeing someone on a podcast, like Nick here or myself, don't ever be afraid to message us privately. Just to ask a question, or if something's confusing, just message and don't be afraid to reach out. And if you can, get outside, go for a run. You will feel 10 times better. Like, it doesn't matter what weight you are, it doesn't matter what you look like. Just getting outside and having that time to enjoy nature and breathe in the fresh air, that would be phenomenal.
Exactly, dude. And is there anything else you want to leave the listeners with, or where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, so just on my socials, Ryan Scilipote. It's spelled super weirdly. I'll leave.
I'll put the links in the bio.
Yeah. So just jump on there. Pantheon Support Services is the name of the company. Don't be afraid to, shoot us a message privately through there as well. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. And with what's going on, can everyone please, just at least one person this week, take some time to ask them what's going on, and better yet, send it to me so I can, share that message with other people and keep that message going, because, that's what we need to do, is we need to be checking in on each other and holding ourselves responsible to make these changes and to be there for people.
I love that, because I do that myself. I have like little reminders on my phone to reach out to people. Every week I try to reach out to 2 to 3 people and just check up on them, see how they're going. And if they have any issues, well, they know they can come to me and talk to me.
Yeah. Oh, and a quick thank you to The Good Place for having me here and putting up with me and giving me this delicious food. So
out of 10, what was the rating?
Honestly, 10. I love, it's kind of like this Hampton style place that's like completely gluten-free, and it's honestly just a lovely little restaurant, free Wi-Fi. And yeah.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is pretty good too. It hasn't dropped out. It's not Macca's Wi-Fi.
No, I'm really impressed with it. Well done.
Ryan, last question, man. When your time's all up and done in this earth, what are 2 words you would want people to use to describe the person that you were and the life that you lived?
Shit, you got me. Um,
Yeah.
That is a really good question.
Yeah, I like to put people on the spot with this one.
Yeah.
Guess you're thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah. So just 2 words to describe how I lived.
Yeah, and the person that you were.
Innovative would be one of them. I like that word a lot. Innovative and creative. I think those are like, I know they're very similar, but I like to think that, I think a little bit outside of the box, and that, I've left something that other people wouldn't have. And I think everyone secretly wants to do that and leave something like their own mark. But even if it's something small, like what's going on, or a tiny thing that someone can take away from my life, I think that would be huge for me.
Awesome, bro, dude. I've really enjoyed this chat. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to jump on, eh?
No problem, man. Anytime. And so, yeah, just feel free to flick me a message if you have any questions. And yeah, don't be afraid to ask me what's going on. I know I'll be flicking you messages from yeah, now and then whenever I get a spare moment.
For sure, bro. Yeah, I'll be coming up to Sunny Coast in like June, July, so we'll definitely have to connect in person.
Yeah, I'll take you rock climbing, and then I'm a right bastard in the gym, so I'll take you to the gym with me.
Awesome, bro. Thank you once again. And for the listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, if you got some value, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.